Please welcome Tom Mitchell, Principal, Employee Research and Experience with Mercer here in Chicago.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here this morning. Really honored to be here. A little bit about background of myself, Tom Mitchell with Mercer. I'm a senior consultant, so I've spent 32 years now working directly with organizations on employee research, doing surveys around engagement, total rewards. And I was very pleased when I saw those pillars up there on the screen, because the work I do on a daily basis touches several of those. And what I want to do is give you a little bit of data points behind some of the stuff Angela put up there, citing largely an annual study Mercer does every year called Inside Employees' Minds. But I'm going to focus today a little bit on the hourly workforce, right? Just to keep in mind today, as you think about today, tomorrow, there are differences between hourly and salary employees. So let me dive in a little bit. Latest numbers I saw was over half, about 56% of the U.S. workforce are hourly employees. And just like their salaried employee counterparts, about 91% of them feel they have a good understanding of what they do on a day-to-day basis really contributes to the organization's success. So while they feel that sense of importance, what I do matters, they don't necessarily feel it internally. And let me talk about some of those gaps we see in the work experience. Hourly employees are about 10 points less confident that their voice matters. They feel heard, that leadership understands the work they do on a day-to-day basis and they're listening to. We talked a little bit this morning about the economy. We are seeing struggles, particularly for the hourly workforce. In that study I mentioned, which we made available as part of our give back to you all for attending, we found that about 30% of hourly workers say they're not getting the hours they need to meet their yearly financial goals. And about 35% of hourly workers saying they can't afford the healthcare benefits, if they have them, that they're getting. If they're hourly employee less than 60,000, that number's almost half cannot afford the healthcare. We're also seeing other gaps where hourly employees are feeling underappreciated, challenged by the company's rewards and career development opportunities. For example, just some high-level numbers here. About 40% of hourly employees are not confident that they are compensated fairly, not confident that they are going to have an income stream when it comes to retirement, don't feel like they can take those time off things needed for life events, take my kid to the doctor. They just don't have that flexibility. And they don't see a future where their career goals can be met in the company. Now, we know, and this was alluded to in the book in front of you, actually, that when perceptions of rewards in my work experience is low, trying to drive engagement and motivation is going to be really tough, right? It's that hierarchy of needs, right? The basics need to be in place. For those hourly employees, especially the lower paid hourly employees, at least 10 points less favorable than salary counterparts about willingness to go above beyond, help out that customer, help out my coworker a little bit more if some of those basic rewards aren't in place. The takeaway I want to give you as I wrap up, and some of these sound like very common sense, we're already doing this, but I will tell you these are the things that we are finding are impactful on engagement, on motivation. So just take some consideration of these. I know many of you do organizational surveys. We were talking about it even at my table this morning. But do that segmentation. Understand what your hourly employees really value, what's important to them, how satisfied with them. Do they even know some of these things exist? Oftentimes things get lost in the communication down to our employees. When it comes to compensation, I know wages are frozen at many places, but think about what financial management resources do you have? And do hourly employees know about them, right? Retirement planning, debt management, budgeting skills. On the benefit side, I kind of alluded to this so often when I read results of the surveys. Yes, people do read those, for those of you that do those surveys. What I so often see is, I didn't even know we had that, right? So it's an opportunity to really personalize communications of what matters to your hourly employees so they understand it's there, how to use it, when they need it, right? There's often those benefits they might need once in a blue moon. How do they know to get at that when the time comes? Career development, it's sort of the of course. Expand skills training. Incentivize for if they attain new skills, those clear pathways for advancement. And then lastly, flexibility. I hear quite frequently from clientele, particularly in the hourly workforce, how challenging it is for those time off. Let me go to the doctor, take my kid in, things like that. I don't need a sick day for the whole day. What we have found is a lot of times it's focusing on the manager, right? What tools, what options can they may be available to them so it's not just a no, or an employee feels like, I can't even ask. As I wrap up here, I just really wanted today to bring some of the data points behind those differences between hourly employees, salary employees. Try to point to some areas that you think you might already be doing, but maybe lean in it a little bit more. Because I always just leave that reminder that it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? Whether it's an employee experience or a rewards program, we all know there's differences in age and tenure, things like that, but still drastic differences between hourly and salary employees. Thank you.